Good evening and welcome to Camden Military Academy's first ever Google Hangout. We're making history here tonight, and tonight we are here just to kind of conduct this Google Hangout like an open house. We want you to, it is a virtual open house. We're here to ask questions, a chance for you to learn about the school. And as you can see, I have 4 cadets here with me tonight, and we're going to take a moment and let them tell you their name and where they're from and what year they are here at Camden. Go ahead, Jacob.
I'm Jacob McGuire. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I am now a senior at Camden Military Academy.
And Luke?
Hello, I am Luke Gagliardo. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I am a junior at Camden Military Academy.
All right, and Thomas?
Hello, I am Thomas Reliant from Hartsdale, New York. I am a sophomore at Camden Military Academy.
And Xavier.
Hello, my name is Xavier Anderson. I'm from Hilton Island, South Carolina, and I'm a senior at Camden Military Academy.
All right. So guys, there you have it. Those are our 4 cadets tonight that will be answering questions for you throughout the evening. And if you do have a question for us, we want to remind you to go to our social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and post your question with hashtag Camden Military, and we'll get to as many of those questions as we can tonight. First off, though, I want to ask a couple of the cadets a pretty simple question. Just, guys, why did you or your family choose Camden Military? Why was it for you? And Jacob, we'll start with you.
My parents chose Camden Military Academy because it was the closest by, and it was definitely the best well-priced and the best reviewed, and that's why.
Okay. And how about Xavier?
I chose Camden Military Academy because I needed support in the academics and along in my personal life.
Okay, good. Now for the other 2 guys there, just tell me, has Camden been a good fit for you? Is it something that that you're glad you did? Tell us how it's going to change you.
I feel like that Camden Military Academy has been a good fit. It's taught me how to have discipline and structure in my everyday life.
Good, good. How about you, Luke?
I believe, it has helped me with my academics and my structure and my respect for life.
Good. Now, a couple of you have mentioned, that the academics have changed. Somebody who feels comfortable telling me a little bit about what academics were like before Camden and what they're like now.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
My academics before I came here in the 8th grade because my grades were just terrible. I didn't want to do any work, no homework, no tests. They were F's, D's, good grades like that, And then I came to Camden and realized that my parents are spending the money and the structure, and I needed to change for that. And so I came here in their study hall, so I got all my homework done. And then I was actually finding myself studying, and so I was getting A's and B's.
Good, good. Now I know for a lot of guys, military school is not their top priority in life when you're a teenager. Most guys rather be at home and be in school with friends and whatnot. But can you tell us a little bit about how you adjusted when you came to Camden? Like, any advice for other cadets about ways to maybe get used to the idea if you're not really big on it at start?
I'd feel like that for a new cadet coming in, they should be able to ask questions to their superiors and their chain of command. They can be able to easier to assimilate to the Camden life.
Good, good. All right, now Xavier, I'm going to call on you here and see if you would just kind of tell our viewers what a typical day like in the life of a cadet here at Camden.
Right. A typical day is we wake up at 6 o'clock. We will clean our barracks until around 7 o'clock. 7:15 is when breakfast starts. After breakfast, we will go and we will either do PT or we will go on TAC time, which is basically where our TAC officer dictates what we do for the next 30 minutes. 8:30, we will clean our barracks again. 9 o'clock, we'll get our books ready to go out to class. 9:10, we will check our books, make sure we have everything. 9:15, we leave the barracks to go to the academic circle. Class starts at 9:30. It's over at 3:15. After that, we go back. We make sure our barracks are clean still. And then after that, if they're all clean, we'll put them on free time. And then after free time ends at 5:30. 5:45, we're dressed and ready to fall out, and then we'll have our dinner formation at 6:15, we'll go inside the mess hall and we'll eat our dinner. Afterwards, we probably get out around 6:50. 7:15, we'll start on study hall. Study hall ends at 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, the cadets go to bed.
All right, that's it. Good job. All right, guys, another question that I get asked a lot as the admissions director is, will I have to wear a uniform? Will I have to cut my hair? So as you might see, we have our 4 cadets tonight in 4 different uniforms, and I'm going to kind of let them tell you when they wear the particular uniform that they have on. So, Jacob, how about you get us started?
Okay, so I'm wearing the long sleeve class shirt, and this is the class uniform. This is what we wear on a normal daily basis unless it's raining. I have the long sleeve. You don't get that given to you when you come here. That's extra that you have to buy. But with it, you wear a tie. You wear it all the way buttoned up, and it's got long sleeves, as you can see. And then you wear class pants such as these that are blue, and then you have class shoes as well. And that's the long sleeve class uniform.
And I think, Luke, do you have the short sleeve on?
Yes, sir, I do. This
Okay.
is the short sleeve class uniform, and that's it. It's short sleeves and no tie. And then you can unbutton this top button. That's about it.
All right, and go ahead, Xavier. Tell them what you have on.
All right, what I've got on is the AC uniform. It stands for Army Combat Uniform. Basically, where we wear this uniform when it's rainy, when the weather is just not on our best side. So it's pretty much an all-terrain uniform. It's rugged and it's hard to really mess up. With this uniform, we wear Army combat boots, which are in the tan color. I mean, it's kind of hard to show you right now, but it's a standard U.S. Army military boots. We also wear this cover right here. This is part of our headgear. Every time we go outside, we must put on our headgear. So
Okay, good.
that's what our uniform looks like.
And Thomas, how about you? Tell us the
I have one of the most elaborate uniforms that you will wear at Camden Military Academy. I have the dress uniform, which is the uniform you wear when on special parades, which happens once every 2 weeks. It comes with your parade jacket, a class shirt, a tie that's buttoned up, and you can assort it with medals and ribbons that you've earned throughout the school year, as well as a class parade hat that you wear, and a brass belt that you must shine daily and make sure that it's up to par to Camden standards.
All right, good job, guys. And viewers, as you can see, we do have a couple guys with short haircuts, but that is not a requirement here. Or short haircut is required, but a buzz cut is not required. You can see these guys, especially Jacob there and Xavier, have a little extra hair there, and that is acceptable here at Camden. So a lot of young men are kind of concerned about the hair, and don't be. We can work with you and give you a nice looking short style there. I want to remind everybody, if you have questions for us, to please go to our social media sites and use the hashtag Camden Military, and we will address this question. And we do have our first question from Steve on Twitter, who wants to know what kind of things you guys do during your free time. So who would like to address that?
I'll go ahead and answer that. During our free time, a lot of our cadets will actually leave the barracks. A lot of them like to go play sports. The majority of our corps is actually participating in sports. If lots of our cadets like to go work out, lots of our cadets just like to hang out. We have a Carla house where our cadets can go and play pool, watch TV, things like that. Some of our cadets also have TVs inside their rooms with their own PlayStations, Xboxes, other types of social medias where they can hang out, just be themselves.
Good. And one thing I would like to add, as far as sports goes here at Camden, we do require our students to participate in sports, whether it be intramural sports where they're just playing like flag football, or whether it be the interscholastic where they're playing the football and baseball. So we like to keep our young men busy here at Camden. Now, one more question that I have for you guys. Since you've been at Camden, I'm sure you've gone through some changes, and your mom and dad have probably noticed some back at home, or maybe you're just proud of a particular change that you made. Would each of you please share that with us?
I feel that my parents have noticed a very big change in my discipline and my structure, because I'm always lazy, and well, I used to be lazy, But Camden Military definitely changed my scheduling, and now I'm more on time and more organized.
Good. How about you, Jacob?
My parents definitely say that I have a lot more respect and structure, and just I'm a more well-rounded person now that I've come to Camden.
And let's see, how many years have each of you been here? Jacob, how long have you been here?
This is actually my 5th year.
5th year. And Luke?
This is my first year.
First year. Thomas?
This is my first year, sir.
And David?
This is my 2nd year.
So, we've got a couple of first-year guys, and then McGuire, he went for a long time reward. But these guys, they all have been through a lot of change since they've been here. I met all these guys on the inside, when they were starting to apply to Camden. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about how you can apply to Camden or maybe apply for your son. All we need at Camden is an application completed, and that can be completed online on our website, or we can mail you a paper application, and you can mail that back into us. Of course, we want all the academic records, behavioral records from his school, and pretty much once we receive all those records, we would request to do either a phone interview, Skype interview, or get you to come visit the campus. That's really our main goal, is to get you here to Camden so you can really experience and see what we're all about. Once we complete that process, within about 2 weeks at the most, we would have a chance for you to get your acceptance. And we do have about an 80 to 85% acceptance rate. So the chance of getting in is pretty high. But anyway, so if you are interested in that, just go to camdenmilitary.com and look for the admissions tab there, and it'll walk you right through the application process. All right, I think we have another question coming in now from Barb on Facebook. She wants to know, what's the best way you've learned to manage your time? The time management skills, guys. How has it improved since you've been at Camden?
I'll answer that. I think the best way to manage our time is really the only time we have that we can actually manage on our own is free time, because the rest of the day is planned out and put to where we are doing things by schedule every day. And so you kind of get in the same routine, and so you're used to structuring your time into how you want it. And then free time is really the only time you can do what you want and hang out with friends and play around. But the rest of the day is pretty much planned out and put on a schedule for you.
Now, one thing I want to address too is our academics in the classroom setting. Most of our young men come to us from public schools where the class sizes are quite large. Here at Camden, you're going to have maybe average of 12 or so in your classes. So I'm going to ask a couple of our cadets just to kind of tell us about what their typical class size is like, and maybe a difference in the way the classroom style is here versus the way it was at public school before transferring to Camden. So let's start out with Thomas.
The difference is from Camden Military Academy and the public school I used to be at. My public school used to have 30 students in one class, and the teacher wouldn't have enough focus for all 30 students. You just teach the class. But in Camden Military Academy, the difference where the teacher can have a one-on-one personal experience with you, where you can actually learn the material and need help and get help if you need help.
Okay. All right. And how about Luke? Same question.
I would have to say that this in the side of the classes, there is 17 to 18 kids in each class. The teachers are much more involved than public schools. They we have a tutorial after class, which they will call you in if they want to, or you can go there yourself and you can ask them questions. There will be other kids there as well, so you can feel comfortable with that, or you can go there after school and there will be one-on-one.
Good job. I mean, our teachers here are very dedicated. They're not your typical 8 to 3 teachers. They're here after hours. A number of staff and faculty live here on campus, and so these cadets get to know the teachers outside of the classroom. And all of our teachers coach a sport or sponsor a club, and so that makes them much more approachable. So they're just not the teacher that's at the front of the class, teaching that hard calculus class or whatever. He may also be your baseball coach or your football coach, and that's pretty beneficial for our young men as well. Let's see. One tough thing for guys when they come off the military school, at least what you guys tell me, is that there are no girls here. So we are an all-male military school. How about a couple of you guys address the girl issue? Was it as painful as you once feared?
Honestly, it's not as painful as I had in mind when I first came here. Coming from a school where girls were everywhere, I thought it was going to be a very hard transition, but it actually wasn't. So much of your time is taken up during the day that you really don't even realize it. Although it is still hard to not be here without girls, I mean, your best friend's sitting right next to you, and it's not a problem.
Great, good answer. All right, Tommy, we have another question from a viewer. And guys, again, for the viewers, just remember, if you do have a question, just hit one of our social media sites and use the hashtag Camden Military, and we'll get your question. So Tommy wants to know, what leadership opportunities are there at Camden, and how did you see yourself grow as a leader since being at Camden? Who can answer that one for me?
I'll answer that. I've definitely seen myself grow as a leader here because I came in the 8th grade and I was following seniors that are leaders, and I built my way up through the ranks since I was here. 9th grade, I became a squad leader, or an assistant squad leader. 10th grade, I was a squad leader, which puts me in charge of about 6 or 7 other kids that are my age or could be older or younger. Last year, I became a platoon leader. I was in charge of about 30 kids on my own with a platoon sergeant's help. And then this year, I'm actually the 2nd highest rank at the school. And so I'm kind of in charge of everybody. And it's helped me realize a lot because my dad's always told me that I'm a leader, but I was just leading people in the wrong direction before I came to Camden Military Academy. And it's helped me realize that I need to push people and lead them towards the right direction.
Great, great. Now back to academics for just a second. When I interview the young men, usually academics is the #1 reason they're coming to us. They're not doing as well as they could do, just not working up their potential. They're not be doing terrible, but just not working up their potential. Generally, I ask the young man, how are your grades? And he'll say, okay. And I'll say, well, could they be better? Sure. What tends to be the problem? I don't know. Guess what the problem tends to be? Homework. He's not getting that homework completed and turned in on time, and he's missing project deadlines and things like that. And if you're making hundreds on tests, but you're failing to do those projects and day-to-day homework, that grade can suffer tremendously. So how about you guys, a couple of you just kind of jump in there and talk about homework, how that's been different, and how does it actually help you to do your homework?
For me personally, I don't think I ever did homework in middle school or the beginning of my high school. I'm not going to lie. Homework was not my priority. When I came here, I kind of had the same attitude that I was just kind of going to see what I could do and blow by it, but the teachers right off the bat corrected me. They showed me that that's not what to do. And actually, your peers here at the school will kind of encourage you as well to make sure that you have your things done. Like I said, the school is more of a brothership than anything, so we're always encouraging each other to make sure everything's finished and complete and turned in.
Awesome. All right, and I have another viewer question here. How do you get through adjusting from being away from home? So, were you homesick when you arrived? How about Thomas? Jump in on that one.
I was definitely homesick, considering I'm almost 12 hours away from driving distance. Honestly, what I do is I talk to my parents on my phone. I see how they're doing, and it's not that bad. Especially when breaks come by, I get to see them and I get to catch up on things I missed out. But as long as you keep in connection with your family and some of your friends back at home, the homesick factor doesn't really affect you that much.
And Luke, as far as, Camden's a little different than a lot of military schools because we allow you to bring some things from home, some electronics. So can you tell the viewers a little bit about what you actually have here at Camden that maybe they don't think you could?
You can have your phone on you at all times, besides in the during the academic times of the school. You can have your TV, you can have your game systems, you can have your computer with you, you can have just about anything you want, cameras, videotapes, whatever you want. Just has to obey by the times that you can use them.
There you go. So we allow you to have those electronics and those privileges, and sometimes parents are a little apprehensive when we tell them, yes, they can bring their cell phone, or yes, they can bring the video games. But our philosophy here at Camden is that whether the student is here with us for 1 year or he's here 4 years and graduate, all of those electronics are going to be there when he leaves Camden. And our goal here is to teach him how to use it responsibly. Again, work on that time management so that he knows that he can have fun on the video games, but also work and do the schoolwork as well. Guys, let's see. We also want to talk a little bit about sports. Sports is a big deal to guys. Again, I said earlier that we require sports here at Camden. Jacob, what sports do you play, and talk a little bit about the sports program here at Camden.
I've ran cross country for the last 3 years. I've played soccer since I was in the 8th grade, my first year I came here. Sports they're like any other school. We play other high schools, and we'll play middle schools if you're in a JH sport. We have all the normal sports. We have football, cross country, lacrosse, soccer, baseball, basketball, wrestling. And then we also have teams we have a drill team, a rifle team, and we also have a golfing team as well.
So we have actually 12 sports here you can participate in. We offer middle school, JV, and high school varsity level sports. So if you want to play sports, we also have a no-cut policy. So anybody that wants to be on the team, that gets to go out and be on the team. You might not get to play as much as you want, but at least you have the opportunity to go out and learn the sport and practice with the team. All right, next question. Gentlemen, if you have one piece of advice, and this is going to be for all four of you, if you have one piece of advice to offer an incoming student, what would it be?
I'd say definitely don't waste the opportunity you've been given.
Luke?
I would have to say just keep your head up high at all times. I have to say the first 2 weeks are a little shell shock because getting away from home. But after you get past that, I mean, it goes by really, really fast. So that's it. It's awesome.
I would say give 100% effort. You get what you put in. So if you put in, your work, you put in your time, it's amazing.
I would say that one word would be confidence. As long as you show that you are confident in what your abilities are, then your results will show.
And guys, do you feel like there's anything that you can really do to prepare before getting to Camden? Or was it better just to kind of come in and learn it while you're here?
I think it was probably best to come in and learn it from a cadet that's here, because then they could tell you what it's been like for them to be here. And so then you're coming straight into it, and there are always people that are going to be helping you learn what to do and when to do it. And they just teach you how to do everything that you need to do. And as long as you do what you're supposed to, then you'll be fine.
Good. And I've heard a couple of you talk about brotherhood, and you're talking about other people leaning on you to do what you're supposed to do. Can someone talk for me a little bit about the brotherhood and the friendships that you make here at Camden?
The brotherhood that you develop at Camden really starts at the base. When you first come in, you have a roommate, and this person's going to be spending time with you most of the time throughout your whole day, and you'll be able to talk with them about anything, and soon you'll develop a connection. And after that, it'll go to your squad, and your squad will start getting to know you better, and after that, it'll be your platoon. And eventually it'll reach to your entire company, and you'll have this whole connected unit where you'll be able to stick together, and whatever happens, that you'll be able to tell someone, and they'll be able to solve the problem for you.
Yeah. All right, we do have another question coming in from a viewer. It says, was there ever a time where you felt like giving up while you were at Camden, and what did you do to get through that?
Multiple times. I mean, giving up's easy. And definitely in the life back home where I used to go to school, giving up was always the easiest thing to do. I didn't care. I didn't think anybody else cared. I didn't think it'd ever affect anybody. So coming here and transitioning over, of course you want to give up sometimes, but you just got to stick it through, and then you reap what you sow.
Anybody else have an answer?
Also, if you feel like giving up, there's always people here at the school, like your friends or leaders and TAC officers that are there to help you get back up, and they want to help you. Like the TACs and the adults here and your friends, they care and they want to see you succeed.
Okay, and one thing, I've been director of admissions here for 16 years, and I've kind of learned over the years that when parents come and boys come to my office, sometimes that relationship seems a little strained because maybe, you know, mom and dad has put you on restrictions, taken away electronics, taken away the car, you know, that type of thing. Has your relationship with your parents improved since you've been at Camden?
My relationship with my parents have definitely improved because I was being very rude to them before I came to Camden, and I wasn't, you know, happy with myself. But when I came to Camden, I realized that there's certain things in life you need to discover, and being rude and not listening to your parents, it doesn't get you anywhere because they were just like you at one age. So you need to give them respect as well.
Anybody else have a change in relationship with their parents?
Yes, I have. Before I came to Camden, my relationship was really bad with my parents. I was always arguing with them and just didn't really have any respect for anybody. That is, my parents and other people that were around me. I was just slacking off in school and just didn't really care. And then once I came back, it just totally changed. That was it. Something clicked, and all of a sudden I had much more respect for my parents, and now we have a much better relationship. Excuse me.
All right. We have another question coming in from a Twitter follower. Pepper on Twitter asks, do we take the electronics away if they don't turn in their homework?
Yes.
Yes.
As a company commander, throughout the entire study hall evening, from 7 to 10, I'll be walking around through my company making sure that my cadets are actually supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. It is, if they are caught on their cell phones or any other electronics, we will take it. We will give it back in a week's time. Second time it happens, we'll send it home to the parents. The parents can also request to have a cadet's electronics taken as well. But to answer your question, if a cadet continuously does not turn in his homeworks, we will take his electronics. First things first, though, we'll write him up. He'll be sent a pad, and he'll be in the hallway for the rest of his study period, which usually encourages them to do their homeworks because nobody wants to be in the hallway. Nobody wants to be walking around the pad, so it never usually happens.
And Xavier mentioned pad now a couple times. Who all here has been on the pad before? Raise your hand. All right, a couple of you. If you've been on the pad, so let's go back over to Jacob McGuire for a second. Jacob, tell us what the pad is, because people might not know exactly what.
The pad is also known as our parade field. It's a big rectangle of grass out in the front of the school, so when you come in, you'd see it. But pad is during free time. It's from 4 o'clock to 5:30, and you're just marching off. You get tours, whatever the punishment is, depends on the amount of tours that you're going to get. And so then you're just walking around the pad for all of your free time, just marching around in rectangles until the tax lets you off. And so that's the main punishment we have here, and a lot of kids don't like that, so because that's their free time where they can do whatever they want and hang out with friends and stuff, and you're missing that because you're marching out on the pad. So a lot of kids don't like that.
Exactly. So you lose privileges, you are given some restrictions and things like that, probably much like parents do at home. But it makes a bigger difference here at Camden because you have other students, other peers, depending on you do the right thing. If you're doing what you're supposed to, if you're making the good grades, you're earning merits here. Merits are real important because you have to have a number of merits in order to go home for the weekend, furlough weekend and things. But you also can earn demerits for being in trouble, not turning in your homework, not cussing, smoking, different things like that. So we don't want you to get in trouble. We certainly don't want you to end up on the pad. But I would like for one of you cadets to address the merit and demerits and different ways you can earn merit each day.
Merits and demerits are a system designed so if you're doing good in the academy, you will be rewarded for it, such as going on furloughs and all that. But demerits is the result of not being set up to par, not turning in your homeworks, being disrespectful. That all accumulates, and eventually, if you get enough demerits, you'll get pad time, which is tours, and again, very, very not pleasant for the students.
All right, we have another viewer question coming in. Malik on YouTube wants to know, does CMA have weightlifting? So can someone talk about weightlifting?
We do. We actually, it's not necessarily a competitive team, but it is definitely, it's on its way. There's probably around 30 guys right after school. We'll all go into the weight room, work out a little bit, things like that. We have a weight room staff here at the school that's in charge of the facility, so there's definitely room to grow.
All right. And then he also asked, Malik from YouTube asked, what is the GPA requirement at Camden? We actually do not have a minimum GPA requirement for you to be accepted to the school. We feel like that, if everything was going well at home, you wouldn't be looking for an alternative. So we're not going to hold the past, academics against you. We're looking to improve in the future and move forward. So there is no GPA requirement. And if you're referring to sports, we do like for you to maintain at least a C in order to participate in our interscholastic sports. But we do, again, sports are very important to us here at Camden. All right, another question that I had for you guys. When you transition into Camden, there was probably certainly some things you didn't like. What's the worst thing about Camden when you first arrived, and then what's the best thing about Camden?
Probably the worst thing when I first came was listening to people that were either older or younger than me, because that's just listening to your peers. I've never had to do it really, but that's something you definitely get used to. And then the best thing would probably be now being on top and being able to look over everyone and be in charge, I guess. But I've worked for that, so I'm happy with that.
Anyone else want to jump on that?
The first thing that I didn't like about Camden is how early you get up in the morning, because I'm not used to that. And the one thing I did like about Camden was the opportunities you get academically in the leadership role and athletics as well.
Okay, I think we have another Twitter question coming in, or a viewer question coming in, and I just want to remind everyone again, if you do have a question for us, go to one of our social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, hashtag Camden Military, and we will get your question here on the air. But this question comes from John on Twitter, and he wants to know, what are some of the clubs offered here at Camden? So who can address that question, some of the extracurricular clubs we have?
We've got a bunch of different clubs. We have quite a few things to do for extracurricular activities. We have debate team. We have robotics. So we have, tons of things to take up time with. If you're not the athletic type, there's always something to do.
And the Civil Air Patrol is a very popular club that we have here. And we also have Scouts. Goodness, guys, help me out with some others. Key Club.
Key Club, yeah.
Key Club.
We do have junior leadership. That's right. We have a band. We do get asked a music question a good bit. Are any of you guys band members?
No, sir.
No. Okay, we didn't have any musical guys here, but we do have a band. We have a marching band. We have a jazz band that travels around to different events. So we can certainly, fulfill any music needs that you have. We have another question that says, what is the best extracurricular activities you've done here so far? What are the best extracurricular activities you participated in here at Camden?
The best extracurricular activities were what I'm doing right now, which is drill team, which I think it's pretty cool to be able to flip rifles and look pretty cool. And obviously this is my drill team cord that I got on my parade coat. Doing certain things will get you, as extracurricular activities, you'll get certain medals and things to decorate your parade coat. So I think that was pretty cool.
Anybody else? Your favorite extracurricular?
Probably baseball. I've always loved baseball, and even here, the atmosphere is just incredible to play. And we do not have too many fans that come up, but the core is always there to support. So I mean, it's almost better than playing at home.
Now, go ahead, Luke.
Nope, okay. Cross country. That's my first time ever doing a sport. I thought it was very exciting. Everybody there was very informative about everything, and everybody was just very alive and very, I guess, like a brotherhood. It's just, that's how I met most of my friends.
Mhm. And guys, one thing that's pretty unique about Camden, I feel like a lot of our cadets have a good relationship with the teachers. Getting to know them outside the class and coaching your sports. Jacob, can you tell me a little bit about maybe a relationship that you have with a teacher here that you probably wouldn't have had back at home?
Most definitely, my Spanish teacher, Coach Arat, is also my soccer coach, and I feel like we just have a better relationship because of I played sports with him and I'm in his class, and it's just nice to know kind of both sides of him, I guess you could say. Not really sure, but it's just nice knowing that they are there as a coach and a teacher.
Anybody else have a relationship with the teacher here that may be a little different than what you had at home?
I think I have a pretty good relationship with all my teachers. Actually, prior to coming to Camden, I never really developed any relationships with any teachers. So when I came to Camden and I saw all my friends with relationships with the teachers, and I saw teachers reaching out for me, things like that, at first I kind of shut it away, thinking it was a little bit awkward. But I mean, as time grew, I saw how much they actually really cared about me and how much they were willing to see me succeed and what they were going to do. What they would go through to see me succeed in everything that I do. So the relationship with the teachers that you build is just incredible, and I mean, I'll never forget them.
Great. Okay, we have another question coming in about what are the weekends like at Camden? You can jump in about a weekend.
Weekends are great. Weekends are just kind of your time to just be yourself, relax. You don't have me or any of your chain of command members screaming in your face. Nobody's telling you really what to do as long as you're still acting as a cadet at the Camden Military Academy. But weekends are pretty much the entire day just free time, minus a couple of meals. Sundays we do have church formations. Not everybody here is a Christian, so we do offer other churches for different types of religions. So it's very open.
Also, we do have Saturday classes on some Saturdays, which are just half of the day. They start at 8:30 in the morning and go until 12 o'clock, and that's all 6 of your periods that you do have.
We also take some fun trips here. We go to watching NBA games, NFL games, paintballing, some of those fun things, some good guy activities to film the weekend. And we also have big trips built in throughout the year. Who's been on some of the trips and just tell them some of the fun places that we visited here at Camden?
I've been to the NFL trip, and I've been to a couple of Florida trips, as long as a few rafting trips. And the trips are really where you can learn to bond with everybody and really see who people are behind the mask. A lot of kids came up to some of us leaders around the campus and said, "Wow, I really, didn't see you in this type of way." So it's always kind of cool to really see how somebody actually is instead of seeing how they are as a cadet, but evaluating them as a person, and then that way you build friendships with them.
Can one of you tell me what was your favorite trip that we go on here at Camden?
By far the Florida trip. The Florida trip is definitely worth it. Just the amazing things that we get to do, and we get to do with our best friends. So
snow skiing is also a popular one. Anybody go snow skiing?
I went skiing.
We have a couple of snow ski trips each year, so for a lot of our Southern cadets, that's a big deal for them. One thing I want to address too tonight briefly is a lot of people, when they hear the term military school, it kind of it scares a lot of young guys. They kind of think that they're going off to boot camp. I have young men, when they pull up front, they're expecting to go through a gate and armed guards and barbed wire and that kind of thing. That's not what we are. Can some of you guys kind of address that? And did you think that at first, and is it really like that?
I absolutely thought that it was going to be something like with the armed guards, and it was all going to be strict military. But we're not trying to produce soldiers. We're trying to produce better citizens and better minds. It just has the military theme around it. So it definitely has its military rules and standards, but it's only to improve your personality and not to make you into a soldier.
Yeah, I often tell people that, we're a military school and we're proud of that, but we're not a boot camp. We're not going to train soldiers. We're here to train young men, and we're going to focus a lot on the philosophies of the military, like time management, organization, structure, self-discipline, those type things. Anybody else have anything to say about that? The myth of military school?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Luke.
Before I came to Camden, I was I guess you could say a hippie kid. I just had like a happy go lucky kind of thing of life, and I just thought military school was this like horrible kind of thing. But once I got here and I noticed that there wasn't barbed wire around the fence, and there's actually just a normal white picket fence around the school, and when you pull up, it's just a nice pavement that you pull into, and it's not like like there's dirt and there's like a bunch of guys walking around in ACUs and guns and all this weird stuff. But no, it's not like that. They're all kids like us.
Anybody else?
I'll say something. Definitely the priority that we try to instill in our cadets is academics. Before anything, before the military school aspect of it, the school prioritizes in academics. So that's the number one thing that we look for. Along with that, we do have the military background to shape our cadets, make sure they're getting the discipline that they need, the support and structure that they need to develop them into nice young leaders.
Good job, guys. Now we have another question from a viewer on Twitter. You talked about a brotherhood. How do you look out for or support each other? And that's from Paul on Twitter. How do you support each other here at Camden in the brotherhood?
When we see one another starting to mess up or slipping in grades, we'll kind of talk to each other and help each other out. Like I know me personally, there are a couple little kids that I've mentored because I see myself in them when they come here because they kind of want to slack off with their grades, but I go around and I personally do help some kids with their homework, and when you see them about to make a bad decision or anything like that, you kind of pull them aside and tell them, no, you shouldn't do that. And I don't know, it's kind of just you have leaders and friends looking out for you.
Of course. That's also where it comes, and not just the officers and lieutenants and all the chain of command steps in. It's also people just around, It's honestly, we care about each other and we want to see the best in what we can do and what we can able to do. So I agree with you.
All right, we have another question from a viewer. You have seniors there. What are the future plans for your seniors after they leave CMA?
Well, the majority of our seniors are actually going to be going to the Citadel, which is the military college of South Carolina. So that's pretty much the main choice of everybody here. I know Jake and myself will also be attending the Citadel, and I mean we're kind of just grown up, raised around it. And so, I mean, it's definitely something that we look forward to. Before I came here, I would never think, I didn't even know what the Citadel was, to be honest. Never thought I'd ever be at a military school, and now I'm actually wanting to go to one. So it's going to be.
And that's the way we find it for a lot of our students. A lot of our seniors, we have over 20 states and about 9 different countries represented here at Camden. And those students typically go back to where they're from, to their public universities in their home states or internationally. But we do have a lot of our students each year that go down to the Citadel, and we like that. But for a lot of our students, like Xavier said, really didn't know what the Citadel was or military school was, but they got to Camden, they liked it, it worked for them, they started having success, and so they wanted to continue that at the next level. So good job there, guys. Malik, again on YouTube, wants to know, do we have any testing requirements here at Camden? No, we do not require, of course, we're a high school, so we do not require the SAT or the ACT for admission. And we also do not offer an admissions test for entrance. What we're going to do is simply just look back at your academic records and make sure that you're capable to work at our level here at Camden, which the minimal level would be college prep, and then we offer honors courses as well as some college courses. Some of our juniors and seniors are actually able to start earning college credit while they're still here enrolled in Camden. And we do offer a post-grad program, which is like a 13th year of high school, for young men who need to improve those test scores or to possibly raise that GPA. So no minimum requirements here to get in as far as testing is concerned. Again, admission is going to be based on your application and your interview, as well as make sure that you're able to perform at our level. All right, guys, we're going to close this Google Hangout up, but we have one more request of our cadets. We want to ask you, why Camden in one word? Okay, can anybody tell me why Camden Military? One word, guys. Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. My one word to describe Camden, basically sum it up, would probably be success.
Good job.
I think my one word would probably be discipline, because that's the biggest thing I've learned here. So
My one word would be integrity, which is also one of the words that's stated on the Cadet Corps Creed.
My one word to sum up Camden Military Academy would be structure.
All right, guys, good job. Well, guys, that is our first Google Hangout that we've just completed. So we want to thank the viewers for participating and sending those questions in on our social media sites. And we will have future Google Hangouts, so stay tuned. There's more to come. And I'd like to thank the cadets for taking time out to come up tonight to participate. Appreciate that, guys. And guys, viewers, make sure that you continue to follow Camden Military and keep up with what's going on. There's several ways to do that: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the different social media. We're out there. Also, our website, CamdenMilitary.com, has a blog feature there. So we have cadets writing about their experiences here at Camden, but as well as news and information here, what's going on at the academy. If you have questions for me directly, feel free to email me. My email is admissions@CamdenMilitary.com. That's admissions with an S at CamdenMilitary.com. And we'll look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for joining us, and good night.